Hi guys, 18 Dapper here and welcome to this match preview for League 2 football. Once again, it's MK Dons versus Doncaster Rovers at Stadium MK. Let's get the video started. So guys, welcome to this match preview. MK Dons versus Doncaster Rovers at Stadium MK in League 2. As always, if you're an existing subscriber, thank you so much for supporting the channel. It does mean an absolute massive deal to me to know that you guys are enjoying the content and you're sticking around to watch more. If this video has brought you to the channel, please consider clicking subscribe so you don't miss any future content if you do enjoy this preview. If you are new, this is the format that we go through match previews. We'll look at previous meetings between the two clubs, current form across all competitions. I say a few words about a Doncaster Rovers player and then I give my opinion on the one to watch for MK Dons. But as I always say in every single video, you know your club much better than what I do. So please, if you think I've missed the mark, get who you think should be the one to watch in the comments down below. I do like to learn as I'm doing these videos. And then we move on to a predicted team lineup thanks to FanHub. I'll give you an update on the predictions league table that me and the family are running, and then the all important score prediction at the very end to finish the video off. So without further ado, let's get into previous meetings. MK Dons and Donny only faced off a total of 16 times in our history. Rovers coming out on top on 8 occasions, MK Dons winning 3, and then we've shared the spoils on 5. So positive reading for us Rovers fans, which we need at this point of the season with our start. We'll drill down into the more recent 5 fixtures between the two clubs and we'll go back to 2020, and they're all in League 1. We had a 1-0 win away from home, a 1-1 draw at home, and then a 1-0 defeat away, a 2-1 win at home, and then a 1-0 win away. So that's the last 5. Obviously they're all pretty tight games in our more recent history, all in League 1, and yes, there's 1 goal between us in every single one, but it's positive reading for the Rovers with 3 wins out of our last 5 and a draw with only 1 defeat. So hopefully we can continue that good head-to-head in this one. We desperately need points after a poor start, so it would be very nice, but I'm not confident in it for tomorrow's game. And I'm not confident because we'll move on to current form. And for the Rovers, it is a defeat, win, defeat, draw, and a defeat. So not great reading there, but it's not much better for MK Dons. Inconsistency for both teams. MK Dons with 3 wins and 2 defeats sandwiched in between those wins in their last 5. For the Rovers, though, it feels like it's 1 step forwards and 2 steps back. A decent, half-decent performance midweek against Mansfield got us a 2-2 draw, but then that was followed up with a dreadful performance across the field. There wasn't really a single player in the starting 11 that I could say came out of that game with their head held high or looking decent in that performance. We just allowed Notts County to play the game at their pace. We allowed them to have the ball and we didn't press. Yeah, there was just a lack of desire, energy, effort, you name it. It was a very poor performance to watch, and we rightfully got beat 3-1 on the day. But I think if we'd have actually put the same amount of effort in as what we did against Mansfield, I think we'd have come away with something against Notts County as well, because we just allowed them so much time on the ball. It was disappointing to watch, especially at home. Can kind of half understand it away from home, but not at home. We just allowed them to, like I say, dictate the pace of play and do what they wanted, to be fair. There's lots of work for Grant McCann to do. I think as midfield is still too light. I think it's showing that we're not competing in this league at the minute. The ball's just going from back to front. If it's not sticking up top, it's just coming straight back at us. The midfield is just not doing enough, in my opinion, at the minute to stop attacks, break down attacks, start our own attacks. We're just really lacking in the centre of the park. So hopefully there's still a couple of weeks. Yeah, back end of August, I think the transfer window closes, so we've got about a week and a half. Let's see if we get another midfielder in to bolster that area. I think we need that as well because there's a lot of injuries. I think that could be a big factor in underperformance at the moment, not just because players may be worried about getting injured. Training might not be at the intensity that it normally is because of the fear of getting more injuries, but I think also complacency from players, knowing that if they're fit and they're half decent, they're going to get into the squad because of the amount of injuries. And I think we've seen that over the last couple of years with Donny, that basically if you're an half decent footballer, maybe not even that, if you're a fit footballer, you're in the squad. So it could be that we're at that level again, which is worrying. So hopefully we get some injuries back and that competition for places returns. It is a huge ask, as I said. I'm not looking forward to this one, to go to Stadium MK and bring back points against a very good outfit in MK Dons. So yeah, it's one of those where the players are going to need to step up, leave absolutely everything on the pitch, and hopefully we can grab something and bring it back to Doncaster and make our season look a little bit more positive at this very early stage. We're not panicking just yet. Moving on to MK Dons. So all of the words that you see on screen are thanks to Jonathan Harries. I will link his Twitter in the description down below. He sent me a message earlier this week giving me a quick brief overview of MK Dons and his thoughts on them, so I've decided to put that in this section rather than kind of doing my own research and putting my own points down on here. So Jonathan says that he thinks that they've had a solid but not a spectacular start to the season. He believes that they're around 6 points better off than what they should be due to performances, but obviously he's very happy with the points return at the minute. But yeah, says that it's solid but not spectacular for a start to a League Two campaign. He really likes Graham Alexander's approach to squad management. He's open, he's honest. He said that if players aren't physically fit or able to play, he will tell them, he will drop them, and Jonathan likes that in a manager, the openness and honesty of a manager within the squad as well. He's very happy with the experience that's been added through Norman, Gilby and Williams, something that he says that they were lacking last season, so he's hoping that those three additions will end up bolstering the squad and giving them that experience to push on this season. A couple of slight concerns that he put in the message was that the back three is still learning each other's games, so Donny could potentially exploit that while they're still kind of getting to know each other's games. And there's a slight concern around Jonathan Leko's attitude. Graham Alexander came out and said that he needs to be a team player. Apparently he was arguing with his own players in the game against Colchester, so there could be a little bit of unrest within the squad due to Leko's attitude. So there's a slight concern with that. Jonathan is also desperate to see improved home form from last season, but he is nervous coming into this one due to our head-to-head that we mentioned earlier. So a big thanks to Jonathan for giving us an overview on MK Dons, and based on that, it's I think there's areas that Rovers could push on, which may create cracks in MK Dons on Saturday in tomorrow's game, but we will see. I think they're a strong squad. They've started well. It's going to be a tough ask to get anything tomorrow. Onto the player profile, I've gone with Deji Satona for this one. 20 years old left winger, a good signing in my opinion this summer, with a view to the future, and I think that's what the sort of players that we should be signing. He's been brought in on a 2-year deal, and it's shown flashes of what could come later on in the season or later on in his 2-year deal. I think he's just a little raw at the minute, probably wants to do a little bit too much sometimes, but hopefully a little bit of experience, it'll start to click for Deji within the team. I think it will click because obviously having stints in the Manchester United academy and then moving to Nice in France, going to Brentford B team, Kilmarnock and Burnley under 21s, I think that'll will have given him a good grounding, a good foundation to hopefully develop or set him on his way to developing. Still very, very young, but he's showing bags of talent, speed, pace. Like I say, he's just a little bit raw, but I think get him on the ball and League Two defences will be on the back foot, so hopefully he gets a start and he shows what he can do tomorrow. Moving on to the opponent's one to watch, so Jonathan did mention him in his message, but I've left it until the opponent's one to watch. It is obviously Mo Isa, 29 years old, centre forward, 211 career appearances, 76 goals with 19 assists, and he's started very, very positively this season. 4 in 4, 1 assist. I think when you're coming up against a player of his ability, he's going to be on the team sheet, and you're going to look and think, wow, we're in for a rough ride this afternoon. There's other players that we need to keep quiet, but I think Mo Isa's the talisman at the minute at MK Dons. Obviously the 4 in 4 so far this season. We need to try and stop that being 5 in 5. I don't think we will. For me, he's the one to watch in tomorrow's fixture. But as I said at the start of the video, you know your club much better than what I do, so get the player in the comments who you think we should also be watching out for tomorrow. Moving on to the predicted team lineup, so this is thanks to FanHub. I've gone with a little change for the lineup. I'm hoping that it may be this lineup, I don't know. But I'd like to see us try and keep a clean sheet, and I think the only way to do that is probably try with 5 defenders, but give Nixon and Maxwell on the wing freedom to try and break forward, leaving Anderson, Wood and Olowu as the back 3 with Lawler in goal. Broadbent and Tommy Rowe in the midfield, kind of interchanging between CDM and CAM. And then Deji Satona on the right hand side, Tyler Roberts on the left, and then Joe Ironside up front. And we need to get the ball into his feet, bring Tyler and Deji closer to him, so that we can actually feed off him. Balls in over the top for him to turn and run into are just not, for me, his forte. I don't think he's going to really latch on to anything like that. So I think we need to start playing to our strengths, and maybe that is a formation that would help. I don't know. It's so difficult to predict our lineup at the minute, but that's what I'm going with. Onto the prediction of league table. So if you're new to this, me and the family predict the scoreline for every single league game. If we get it spot on, we get 3 points. If we get the outcome of the game right but not the result, we get 1 point. If we get it completely wrong, we get no points. And our start to the season has just been as bad as Donny's. Chris is still leading the way on 1 point from 4 games. All the rest of us not even got a single prediction right. So we're all on 0. Hopefully I'm wrong with my prediction in this one. I'd take staying on 0 points if I'm incorrect on this. So we will see if there's any change in the table on the next preview. And that takes me on to my score prediction. So as I said, I think it's going to be a very, very tough afternoon tomorrow for the Rovers. It's been a tough start. We've not got the results that we wanted. We're still learning. We're still growing as a team. I believe Grant McCann is the one man who could change it and turn it around for us. So he's going to get my full backing 100%. The players need to start, for me, stepping up, as I said earlier, and leaving everything on the pitch in every single game. But I think this one may be a little bit too soon for that to happen. I think MK Dons are going to have a very comfortable, fun afternoon. I'm going with a 3-0 home victory. Like I say, hope I'm wrong. I'd gladly stay on 0 points in the Families Predictions League, but I will always predict with my head and not my heart. So that's where I'm going to leave this one. If you've enjoyed it, please stick a big thumbs up on it for us, please. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.